What is something you've never told anyone before?
One time when I got mad at my brother, I used his toothbrush and brushed the toilet. When it happened, I was like 8 or 9. I'm 18. He's just always been a dick, especially growing up. He was just really rude and mean. No, I don't regret it. I have no reason to. I mean, we get along now, but like when we were younger, we used to hate each other. We'd get into fist fights all the time.
So the second school I went through, I went through like a very chaotic like era of time. I felt like at that point in time I was like trying to get better, but it was like really worse. I was extremely childish, and I'd like hurt people physically. I don't like my younger self, which is I don't know if everyone can say that about their past history, but like I feel like there was a lot more negatives than positives in in those earlier times of life. But like further like now like in the present, I feel like I've reached some sliver of stability, like mentally and like just like physically.
When I was like 7 to like the ages of
I guess you
10,
can't see me, huh? 'Cause
my
you're on
dad
close, right?
would sit down at the
You're
dinner
probably
table
wondering
and
who's
get
getting close
really
to you, like
fucking
trying to
drunk,
peek your nose.
and he would sit me down and force me to drink this alcohol with him. And if I threw up, he would beat my ass and make me take more shots. But I held it down one day. He got like super drunk and then threw my mom down a set of stairs, and then he left for a couple of days and came back and he never drank again. So smoked a lot of pot though. For my 14th birthday, he let me smoke daps with him. So that was cool. Really fucking high. I slept for 3 days. I knocked myself into a food coma. I ate a lot of food. I would have killed my father the first time he laid his hands on my mother.
You know, before I picked boxing as a sport, I was really scared. That's the one thing I never told anybody because I was scared to change as a person. Well, before I got into martial arts as a whole, I was a little spineless. I was a pretty weak person back in the day, like a long time ago. And I really struggled changing, and I always thought that it's such a terrible thing that I don't think anybody else should know that that used to be a part of me, that I used to be a person like that. You see, I had problems with defending myself from certain people. I've been through a lot of things in my life. I had my grandfather die. My dog got murdered, drunk driver. But it was funny because later on, somebody looked into it. He did it on purpose, apparently. There was some footage. And the moment when I saw that footage, it broke me down as well. And then my grandfather from my father's side of the family also passed away. And he was like of really huge anger to me. He just carried my entire childhood. You know, he was like one of those grandfathers that threw you cookies, fattened you up nice and plump, you know? The ones that always gave you money when you asked for it. And my doctor hated him, actually. It was funny. But yeah, they all passed away from either murders, terrible accidents. And then that was like the limit breaker for me. It kind of pushed me into the person I am today. I love what I do. I love sparring people. I love being able to know that I can actually hold my own in a street situation. It's a blissful feeling. I started when I was 16. I was nervous about making a choice I could never take back. You know, like I was afraid that I would regret choosing this path and that I wouldn't be able to do anything to fix it. Because I had a lot of people looking at me and they put their hands on my shoulders saying, hey, if you get into this, there's no pulling out. You can never stray away from this path. It's always going to haunt you. Because, you know, how can I explain it? Getting into these kind of sports, any physical form, even, you know, football, head trauma and all that stuff, it changes a person. But I've been keeping myself safe. I always take x-rays. I always go for monthly doctor's visits to make sure that my body and my mental capabilities are intact, healthy, stable. So I'm good. Even better. Look, I put together an entire group so I can talk to people, so I could, you know, create healthy relationships within the group. We look how many people are just like having a good old time here. Look, I would never be able to do anything like this when I was my old self. Like, I was too shy. I can barely talk to anybody. I was too timid, too thin. It had to be done. You only live once, so why not give it a shot? Even if you fail, at least you tried. You made the effort. That's all that matters. That you didn't just sit there and do nothing.
I broke the window in my math class. I ripped off the door handle and I threw it. Basically, it was during like our break, right? Like we have like a 30-minute break. Basically, what happened was me and my friends went up the stairs because the math class is on the second floor, right? Me and my friends, we saw the door handle was loose, and we like we ripped off the hinges. The math class, it had windows. So we like leaned around the corner and we threw it through the window and we ran back down the stairs. And then they had like this big ass like school assembly, and they were lying. They were saying like, oh, we have CCTV and shit. And it's like they didn't. They had no CCTV. But then all the police were called and shit. But no one ever knew it was me. I mean, I think like now that I look back in it, I don't think I would have done that. It's like that's just vandalism, right? Like I was like 4. Keep in mind, I was young. I was like 13. But like I think for my case is like I don't think that attributed anything to my character, right? I think it's one of those things where like I think it's more of like a teenage thing because like obviously growing up and hormones and puberty and shit, right? Generally don't vandalize shit. It's like not good. And like if they caught me, like I would have been fine to fuck like that. But keep in mind, it's like keep in mind, like if I got caught doing that, it wouldn't have been me who paid. It would have been my parents. It's like you're just inconveniencing someone else's life because you wanted to do something what you thought was funny. The moral of the story, kids: don't rip door handles off and break shit. It's fucking stupid.
I have never told anyone how I actually broke my metal baseball bat. Just know a pedophile got what he deserves.
Oh, I live an honest life now. When I was a teenager, though, I was a fucking piece of shit. I did steal a car one time, and then I dumped it in the woods and lit it on fire, and so there's no evidence. I'm not gonna say where or when. Yeah, but yeah, that was pretty bad. I was on some bad shit when I was younger, like for sure. Not proud of it at all, but people can change. I promise you.
Probably secretly, sometimes I wish I could just get away, you know? Not like just like go drive around. Like, I mean away, like from everybody. Like live in like Switzerland or something, just live away from people. Like, I don't have to have like a relationship, just me, a small cabin. To be truthful, I never thought I would be saying this, but I do get sick of people. I'm really like that kind of friend that like people come and tell me like all their problems, or like people are always looking to me for advice. Kind of gets tiring, you know? And so what most people don't know is like I want to get away. I want to get away from everybody. My family, like everyone that I meet. It's not that I hate people. It's just I know it would be easier and a better peace of mind if I just left everything behind me, you know? Simpler life. So right now I'm currently enlisted into the Marine Corps. And so I'm waiting to go to boot camp, you know. Can't really go anywhere if I'm active duty. I mean, I get to travel, but I don't really get to do stuff on my own cuz you know, you're working for the military. But it had always been a dream of be in the military or do like law enforcement stuff and help people. I know that's pretty ironic coming from me, but like I'm still pretty young, but I do want to get away. Like I've had a really rough life, and I think I would just like to get away. It just seems like a more calming and peaceful way to live. It's always in the back of my mind. I've never really told anyone that. If you really want to get away, like you love your family, you love your friends, but you just want to get away, maybe do that for some amount of time and see how that works for you. Maybe you might like it, maybe you don't, you know? Also, try to save up for that dream of like just being away from everyone, somewhere like out of the country that you're not really familiar with. Basically study that like country you're gonna be in, or that area, or even like what kind of jobs they have there. You just want like a simple like life like I explained. Yeah, definitely follow your dream of being away from people. I recently decided to, you know, live for myself, live for yourself, live in the moment. You only have a limited amount of time on this earth, and you never know when it could just, you know, be thrown out the window like that.
Here's one. I have a learning disability. I am 18. I have difficulty reading. Let's say it's kind of three: difficulty reading, difficulty spelling, and handwriting. I share it with my family members, but I don't really like sharing it with other people. I find it quite embarrassing. 18-year-old can't read. Goddamn! Don't give up. Just work hard at it. You're gonna hear this from everybody. Everybody's gonna tell you, don't give up. Just keep working hard about it. Once you get the hang of it, everything It will become easier.
Back when I was a kid, like around 12, 13, 14 years old, me and my friends had like a hangout area. And long story short, there was like a construction crew that came around, and we basically grabbed a bunch of our family's like tools and like garden snippers and like bolt cutters and shit. And we ran over to the construction crews, like they're like backhoes and stuff, and like bulldozers, and we snip their hoses and their fucking wires and shit. They come back. By the way, this is like fucking black at night, midnight kind of thing. And back then, not a lot of people had like Ring cameras and stuff, and there wasn't like road cameras or anything because it was like a small neighborhood. But we did that. Later that day, there was like police and shit all around, and they thought some like homeless guy was stripping their vehicles of like copper and wiring and fluids and stuff. They never figured it out who it was, but it was like just a bunch of kids wanting to keep their little hideout. I literally never told anyone about it because we kept like a little secret, like pinky promise, don't tell nobody. I never told my family or like literally anyone else about it. Like no one at like middle school or anything. We never got caught. The police thought it was like some homeless guy. I'm 26. It's been a really long time. Kept a little hideout. I don't think I regret anything I did. Back then I don't think I realized what I was doing or the kind of expensive vandalism I was doing, but I don't think I wouldn't regret it. And I would do it again to keep our spot that kept us close.